Hello and good morning. I'm Natalie Bond. You're listening to It's All Light. Today, our special guest is Leah Ives.
Hello.
She is so wonderful, and I'm so excited for you guys to get to know her on today's episode. Okay, so Leah, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, what you're up to.
Yeah, my name's Leah Ives. I'm 22 years old. I am a military brat, so I'm from so many different places. I graduated high school in Florida, but I've lived overseas in Japan, Korea, and Italy.
Wow.
Um, I live in Utah now. I'm an esthetician, a nanny, and a photographer. So that's kind of a little bit about me, a
How
lot.
cool. That's so cool. So, if you could go back and live in Korea, Japan, or Italy, which one would you choose?
That is such a good question. I feel like it would change on the day. I think today I would like to go back to Italy. We kind of lived in the countryside and it was super cute.
Oh,
I
what
don't think I
city?
appreciated it enough. So, yeah, and it was super close. We were at the base of the Dolomite Alps,
Oh my
so
gosh,
super close
yes.
to
So northern
Venice
Italy,
and so
Milan,
yeah.
yeah. Oh,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
amazing. We had an Italian exchange student. She's from Trentino, the Deno area.
Oh yeah. That's like 20 minutes away from me.
And yeah, it was amazing. The castles everywhere, orchards,
Mm-hmm.
like they're known for their apples. It was insane. So that is really cool. And what part of the military was your dad in? Or your mom?
My dad, yeah, my dad was a radiologist in the Air Force, and he's
Wow.
retired now. So my
Radiologist in the
parents
Air
just live in
Force.
Florida.
Cool.
Uh-huh.
What part of Florida?
Destin, Florida area.
Okay.
They live in a town called Niceville. That's actually where I graduated high school.
Niceville? Oh
So,
my gosh, that's
yeah,
amazing. I'm like Barbie Land in Niceville.
I know. It's really cute. It's got like southern charm to it.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
that. On the form you also said you love to cook.
Yes.
What's like one of your favorite things to cook?
Um, I honestly love to cook anything. I feel like my favorite part of cooking is just kind of grabbing a bunch of ingredients and trying to make something out of it.
Ooh, so
Um,
you're a real
I
chef.
I mean,
I
I
have to
like
have
to
a
be
recipe.
creative. Yeah, so I feel like I don't know, I like making smoothies. Honestly, like
Mm.
anything healthy I'm into.
What's
I
a
like
Oh, go ahead.
hmm, like making like every kind of version of like a salad you could possibly
Mm.
make.
You
So,
can be so
yeah.
creative. Me and my coworker
I
were
know.
also talking about nachos, how creative you can be with nachos.
Yeah.
Like you can have
Uh-huh.
Asian nachos, you could have sushi nachos, you could have, I mean, just like
Yeah.
classic beef nachos, you could have chicken nachos. Just, I don't know, she wants to have a nacho bar restaurant.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea.
I
I've
know.
also seen like people making like you could do nachos with like green bell peppers and different
Oh,
things.
yeah, like using
So
different
there's
bases, like sweet potato
uh-huh.
chips or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Opportunities are endless. Okay, so you said
Hmm.
smoothies. Give us, if you have one off the top of your head, a smoothie idea, a smoothie recipe.
It depends on if you like more like chocolate or more of like like fruity kind of
Mm-hmm.
combination. I really like more like a chocolate peanut butter. So I think
Yum.
like some ingredients that you wouldn't necessarily think to put in a smoothie, but you should, are frozen cauliflower. That makes I'm slipping there.
You're good.
Frozen cauliflower makes like any smoothie really creamy.
Ooh.
For added sweetness, you could add like one date, take
Oh,
out the
yeah.
seed,
The pit. Yeah.
and that makes it really kind of. I like for the dates, I like to put them after I've kind of blended the rest of the smoothie, so it kind of makes like cookie dough ball bits in it. Um,
Oh,
and yeah,
the
yeah,
date bits in the smoothie.
uh-huh,
Ooh, that
yeah.
is a good idea. I've been getting into dates lately because I hear it helps your hair grow. So I'm like, I
Oh,
gotta
really?
eat all the dates. No, but my little sister taught me just like you open the date, take the pit out, put a little bit of peanut butter in and a pecan,
Uh-huh.
and it's like a Snickers. It's
Oh,
so good.
yeah. Yeah,
But
you could
okay,
like dip it in chocolate, freeze it, put like
I tried that, but I
a
think
pretzel.
something was wrong and it didn't work out. So threw that away. Oh, a pretzel would be so good. Oh my gosh. I've also tried avocados in my smoothies, and I know you can put them in the
Oh yeah.
chocolatey ones too. But frozen
Uh-huh.
cauliflower is a great idea. Okay, hopefully our listeners will try some new smoothie ideas now. I
Yeah.
love that. So, Leah, tell us what you light up about.
Um, I feel like just on like the same vein as just being like creative in the kitchen and things. I think just overall creativity is something I'm super passionate about. I could talk about it all day. And
I'm
just
so
kind of
excited to
like
hear.
like the importance of being creative and how that's impacted my life and how that's strengthened my relationship with God,
Mm.
and honestly other people as well, and just helped me see life through a more positive and enlightening lens.
How cool is that? So, I'm just so excited to dive in. So with
Me too.
creativity, like I'm sure when you were little, people told you you
Uh-huh.
were creative, right? Just like I feel like that's just part of who you are. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like my mom, well, and also like I would say that my parents are creative as well. But like my mom had a blog and she would write like there was a little thing where she wrote that like I would leave like poems around in my
Oh,
room that would just like she would find them and they would just be talking about like my different feelings and emotions that I was feeling. Um,
amazing.
but I feel like as a kid, everyone's creative, and then as you get older, you just kind of lose that creative spark and just move on with your life. But I think as an adult, I've really tried to come back to that, and it's been so healing for me.
Oh, I love that. It is fun to think about how to bring back our inner child because yeah, I think back to my childhood and
Mhm.
there's so many funny things. I would write songs or invent things or my cousin would make
Yeah.
us like fake gym ID cards and we would choose a Disney character to be our person. Yeah, just so many things or making little flip
Uh-huh.
phones out of Capri Suns or fake laptops with cardboard. I don't know. We just like started making things, which is was so fun.
Mhm.
Speaking of creativity, we're gonna have our question of the episode, and today's question is:
Oh, yeah.
if you could start a business tomorrow, what would it be?
Ooh,
Talked about
tomorrow.
cooking,
I feel like I
creativity,
have a very
photography.
like yeah. Yeah, I have like a very entrepreneurial spirit. Um, so I there's like so many different options. Like on the same side of cooking, I would I've always wanted to make like a restaurant, but have it be like healthy fast food.
Yes.
And I know what I would call it. It would be called Fresh Take.
Ooh.
And you could just kind of come and grab like healthier options. Uh, the only problem would is that I would want it to be affordable, but that would be just really hard. So that would be like
Yeah.
my constant push for like
Yeah.
more healthier fast food options that are affordable.
Like it would have to be like you have your own homestead and then just have your own truck and
Yeah.
like you only have a certain limit of fresh
Uh-huh.
food. I don't know, yeah, to keep it
I
fresh.
know.
But like I can't wait when you do this with your entrepreneurial spirit
We'll
because all
see.
the salad, different salads and smoothies
Mhm.
and I know somehow we have to figure out a way to get fresh food in fast food. Fresh
I
take.
know.
A fresh take on it.
Yeah.
I love that.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah.
that is a patented patent
Yeah, nobody
idea by
stole my
Leah.
idea.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for that question of the day. Now we can dive a little bit deeper into more about creativity and what that means to you, how
Mhm.
that you said you're rediscovering it in your adult
Mhm.
life. Tell us about that. Like, how did you find that there was a lack thereof?
So, I think, like so I've come home from my mission, I've been home for, like, almost 2 years,
Mm-hmm.
and when I came home, like, towards the end of my mission, I was just feeling, like, a lot of inspiration, like, creative. with my creative energy. I was like painting a lot on my mission, and then I came home and I was writing a lot. Like in December of 2021, I did like a writing challenge where each day I went through a chapter of the New Testament. I think I started out with Luke or something, and I would write like a passage and kind of relay it to my life. So I was writing a lot. I really wanted to learn guitar, so I was teaching myself how to play guitar.
Wow.
And then I just kind of went on with my life. Like I'm a photographer, and so it's always been kind of thing like in the back of my brain. But I'm also a esthetician, so I was just working, and it just was not it for me. Like I was not feeling very fulfilled. I loved my clients and I love esthetician work. It's awesome. But I just was kind of not really feeling like called to it anymore, which is honestly really scary. And so with that, I was just kind of really deciding what I wanted to do. And my aunt introduced me to this kind of workshop book. Oh, you're gonna have to cut that out. I
No
don't know why this
worries.
keeps falling.
You can start back with your aunt.
Yes. Hopefully this stays.
Yeah.
Am I centered?
Yeah, you look good. That's perfect. Okay.
Okay. My aunt kind of introduced me to this program called The Artist's Way, and I feel like
Oh,
that has really, really helped me. It's like this 12-week course that you do, and every single day you have like morning pages that you have to write, which are a stream of consciousness, just writing 3 pages. Um, and then there's like artist dates that you have to go on, where you just go and buy like fun things. It doesn't have to be expensive. Spend time with
like craft
yourself,
stuff?
and yeah, it could be anything.
Whoa.
It could be like going to a craft store, going to a park, finally like typing on a typewriter, painting for a little bit with yourself. And so with that, I feel like the whole program is basically to rediscover creativity, and it's a spiritual path to uh, basically like reconnect with God as well as our like divine creator. So,
Whoa. Yeah, he's the most creative, right? I mean,
uh-huh.
everything we see is divinely by him. Yeah.
Hmm.
Whoa. So it was 12 weeks. When did
Yes, but it
you
took me way longer.
when did you do it?
So I started last year, maybe in the spring. Actually, yeah, like last spring, and I
Hmm.
didn't finish. It took me like a whole year to do because there's so many like long activities that you could do, and I really wanted to make sure that I did everything. And so it took me like a good year.
That's so awesome though. Like all these
Uh-huh.
activities sound fun to like reprioritize creativity. So
Hmm.
why should others tap into this?
I think, okay, so I have it on my wall. At the beginning of the book, there's all of these different like principles, basic principles or whatever. And they're so, so good. And one of them, it says that creativity is God's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift back to God. And the refusal to be creative is self-will and is counter to our true nature. And so I think those two things combined is really what has motivated me to stay creative and stay
Hmm.
open to all of the different possibilities. Because for me, whenever I'm feeling inspired, it's creativity. I'm feeling motivated to change and to do something. Um, and I think whenever there's like self-doubt or anxiety within me, it's like almost the refusal of creativity as well.
Hmm.
Um,
Because creativity is action. I mean, it's an idea. Like, I love brainstorming. It's that idea, but it also is, like
Mhm.
you said, like doing something about it, the change. Okay, sorry, keep going.
Yeah. No, that's exactly it. I feel like, um, we're all drawn to different things in life. We all have different dreams and ambitions, and all of those are inspired ideas given to us from God. And when we push that away and when we try to convince ourselves not to do something that is our own self-will or that is inspiration not from a good place. And so just like tapping in to, okay, like what am I passionate about? What am I being called to? What can I create and do with my life to like ultimately glorify God and to show God that we're grateful for all of the things that He's given us. We're grateful for all of ultimately like we are all creations of God. And so as we create, we are just furthering that evolution of ourselves and kind of that next step and journey in our own lives, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So, why do you think we need to be creative? Like, what does that do for us? So, it shows, it kind of gives back to God, but what else can it do for us in our lives?
There's a really good quote that talks about that. Um, it just in terms of creativity, it says, "No nothing makes people so generous, joyful, lively, bold, and compassionate, so indifference to fighting, and a culmination of objects and money." I think
Huh.
as we create, we're just filled with this, I feel like just life in general. And at least for me, it like calms my soul. It makes me feel like more in tune with my body, just like working with your hands in any way. I think it's a way that we could give to others. Um, I've done like so many like handmade gifts, and it's like the best thing for me because
Cool.
as I create, like I'm thinking of that person, and then when I give it, it's always just like so. It's such a beautiful thing to see like the transfer of that.
Uh, you crochet? I feel like you've shown me some of these gifts you've
Yeah.
made, right?
So
Paint,
I knit, yeah,
knit.
knit, paint. I feel like uh so kind of with the artist way, there have been like so many different things that I've like tried and started and
Yeah.
loved just because it's pushed me. So like
Cool.
I've learned how to like bookbind and knit and then push
Bookbind.
myself more with like cooking. Yeah.
Wow.
I've made like homemade paper and I've learned how to do like floral arranging and stuff.
Wow. I
So
mean, just
it's been
all
really fun.
op op what am I saying? Opportunities and like just things you could try are endless. And I know
Uh-huh.
you were in a ballet class one time
Yes. Yeah.
and
Uh-huh.
you sing, you will come country dancing with me. Like it's
Yeah.
just
So
so cool
I
all these things you try.
yeah, I really like have just like tap into okay, when I was like 10 years old, what made me happy? What did I like to do? And that was like singing and dancing and like writing random things and coming up with funny things to say. So that's kind of what I've just kind of had to tap into. And I started ballet again. I did ballet my whole life. Um, and so I've started doing that. I have like a little ballet student too that I
No
teach. So just
way.
really
Oh,
cool like
cool.
opportunities as well with that. And it's been so fun, so good, so healing too.
Yeah.
If you did something as a kid and it was kind of like traumatizing. I mean, not that ballet was traumatizing, but there are like some elements of ballet that can be like really hard.
Hard. Yeah. I can't
And so
imagine.
coming back as an adult, I've just been able to like really even heal like the way that I see my body and what my body can do for me and how different things that I can do bring me joy.
Yeah. I love that. Like It is true when someone taps into whatever form of creativity, like even if that is while you hike, taking a creative
Mhm.
picture or picking up a few rocks to like put on your
Mhm.
windowsill or something, like just the peace it brings. Like when I pick up my violin
Mhm.
that I played when I was little, or
Yeah.
like
I feel like
painting too, just sitting
just
down.
even
Yeah.
being uh-huh. And I would say being in nature is a huge thing because you're surrounded by creation. And
Yeah.
it's very meditative because you can tap into the beauty of that creation and you're able to just be alone and be still. And I think that's where true inspiration can come.
Yeah. Amen. Amen. So my follow-up question to all these like passions and hobbies and
hmm
ways of being creative with that course you did, how do you balance it all and how do you pick and choose where to devote your time? Because as much as we want to do it all, like we can't, and that it's just hard to figure out what to focus on. How do you do that?
That is a really good question because honestly, balance is the art of life. I feel like you're always going to be trying to balance everything that you want to do. Um, Something for me that has been really important is prioritizing like, first in the morning what is most important to me. You know, I'm still working on a like first in the morning, but first in the morning and last at night, like that will help me the most. So whether that's like prayer, meditation, reading my scriptures, doing affirmations, writing, like to me, those have been kind of the things. Reading, I'm a very avid
I
reader.
know you have a
Um,
cute book club that I have yet to join and
I
I
love
need
my
to
book.
come.
Yes, come, we want you there so bad. I love my book club. So reading is super important to me. So those are the things that I want the first part of my day and the end of my day to kind of be filled with. And I know that if I do those things, the rest of the day, it's okay. Like just kind of go day by day and choose one thing. Also, something that has been so wonderful is as I've kind of been on this journey, if you will, I have like so many different friends have come into my life that inspire me so much. And they've taught me things, and we've been able to like watercolor together, hike together. I had a friend help me with like sewing. I learned how to sew. And so I think there's just so many opportunities when you're willing. Um, and honestly, like you really do have the time. There's always time to do what you really want to do.
Yeah. I've been thinking about just like sometimes I turn on shows like when I do laundry or background things and I'm like I could
Uh-huh.
easily switch that to an audiobook, cuz I'm like, "Oh, reading, I
Uh-huh.
love sitting with a book." Audios are great, but like when I
Yes.
can sit down with a book, I love that. So I love that like I could do that at the end of every day. Like you're not supposed to be on
Uh-huh.
screens anyway, so I could make that like a reading habit. But
Yeah.
I love that you said that you have had other people help teach you. And that kind of brings me to my
Mhm.
next question of I think some of us have like innate divine gifts and talents.
Mhm.
So, in your
Mhm.
journey of all these passions and hobbies, where have you felt some of your like talents and natural God-given gifts lie?
That is a great question. I mean, we are all gifted. Like there's no mistake in that. I think God made us each very individually
Mhm.
and we all have so many wonderful things to bring. I think for me, I've kind of found that I I am able to learn things and do things on my own, which is amazing. Like I've been able to teach myself and learn so many things on my own and that brings me joy. And that honestly is amazing. Like to know
Yeah.
that I don't have to have someone like hold my hand and be like every morning, okay, Leah, wake up, you gotta do this. Like, I've really found like that inner strength and that self-discipline to be able to do all of the things I want to do,
Self
which has
motivation.
been, yeah,
Wow.
it's been amazing. And um, that has really helped me. And as I've kind of pushed myself to do things that I was like, I want to do this, but I'm scared. Like I've seen just okay, like no, I can do this. This is fun. This is what I enjoy. Like the book club being one of those things. I wanted to have a book club probably since I like started liking to read, which maybe was I don't know, 12 years old, which I wasn't a kid reader, so now I'm an adult reader. And I was like, oh, but like who's gonna come? Like what are we gonna talk about? And it was interesting to see how it was just kind of like a natural thing. Like I just started and it was great and I loved it. I love that feeling of like getting together and facilitating good conversation. And I love books, so I could talk about books all day.
We should do a book club episode. We could even get a few of you on here because that would be so fun
Oh,
to
that
just
would be
like
awesome.
listen in on a book club discussion and maybe inspire other people to start their own book clubs. Yeah,
Yeah,
so cool.
we could give everybody a month to read a book and then talk about it.
Gosh, we should. Okay, I know you just started one for August with the book club. Maybe I'll jump in now and I'll post
Yes.
about it and see who wants to join and we can discuss it. I love this.
Uh-huh.
It really is so fun to be creative. I know it can be frustrating
Mhm.
at times too. Where have you seen those frustrations and how have you dealt with them? Like, I do definitely
Frustrating,
see
like,
that you're like super gifted in learning how to do things, but I'm curious for other people trying to be creative. What advice do you have?
I think okay, amazing advice is don't tell anybody at first.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
if you're a struggling artist, I believe everyone's an artist. So if you feel bad calling yourself an artist, listen to this because everyone is. At first, don't tell anybody. Just start writing every single day, stream of consciousness, whatever comes to your mind, just write it down. And after that, just sit and think and be and think about like how could I be creative? And the first thought, go for it. If that's like going to an improv class, do it. If
Whoa.
you want to write a screenplay, just start. Like you just have to start. And a big thing also is if you feel like, or you're like, ugh, I could have that. Like I could have written that. That is a sign that you need to do something and you just need to start being creative and don't tell anybody. And yeah, because you don't want anybody's criticism, honestly. Like that's super hard, especially if you're starting out. So yeah,
I like
just do what
that.
makes you happy.
My sister reminds me that like if I am trying to like go off sugar or something, she's like,
Mm-hmm.
don't tell anybody. She's like, just do it. Like she's like, you don't have anything to like prove in a sense to try something, you know? Like if you say I'm going off sugar for two
Yeah,
weeks and then you don't do it, then like only you know, and then you can just move on and try it again, you know? And I don't know,
I mean,
it's
there's
interesting.
definitely power in letting somebody know when you're starting something,
Mm,
but I think I would really sit down and think, okay, who can I trust that maybe emulates some of those qualities that I'm wanting that would help me? Uh,
and support
and
you.
if yeah, because I mean, I'm sure like for you, starting a podcast was scary. Like I'm sure there are people in your life that maybe would give you a hard time or be like, "Oh, that's cringy," or you know what I mean? But if that's what makes you happy, and so you just need to do it. And if that's like starting a YouTube for yourself or like I have like a cooking TikTok,
Oh my
I
gosh,
don't tell
why am I not following it? I'm gonna find it. Okay,
I don't
sorry,
tell
keep going.
anybody I don't tell anybody about that. It's purely
It's for
for like
you.
my own enjoyment and honestly for I forget most of the things I cook, like the recipes and stuff. So it's for me to like
Remember it.
just remember and be like, okay, like because I'm working on a cookbook essentially. So, yeah.
Amazing. Leah, it's so cool to hear all these things you're trying and doing and like making time for. I think it's amazing. Like I love to dance too, and it's
Yes.
it's it's a journey and it's in and of itself. Like high fit's been a fun outlet to go and dance. But like sometimes I
Mhm.
just get in this mood and I used to do this more like a few years ago and I've kind of stopped, but I'm bringing it
Mhm.
back in cuz I know how like my grandma had a dance party for her like 80 no 77th birthday, and
Uh-huh.
I went crazy, like just dancing my heart out. I was like, it looked like I just jumped in a pool. I was sweating so much. But that kind of
That's
like
awesome.
reminded me how much I love it. And like sometimes I just put my headphones on and go in the bathroom and just dance. And I see how silly I
Uh-huh.
look in the mirror, but then I see that like I learned a new move and it's just purely for me. Like no one will
It's
ever
so
see
fun.
this, but
I do
it's
that all the
just so
time.
fun.
Yeah. Put your headphones on full volume. I
Mm.
love a good 70s like playlist.
Ooh, groovy. Maybe that's what I'll do
Super fun
tonight.
to dance alone in your room. Yeah.
That or sometimes I would go to like this little parking lot by my parents' house where like
Mhm.
no one drives by and it's like dark and I open all my car doors and
Scary.
blast my music. No, and I
Yeah.
just it's like a nice little area so I know I'm safe. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's just like one of those things that I'm like if I do that like consistently, I know it brings me joy and happiness. And like you
Mhm.
said, if you start or
Mhm.
end your day with that, it kind of makes either the next day better or just I don't know. I really love
Mhm.
it. So I'm curious now, how do you start your day and what time? Because thank you so much. We're doing an early
Oh my
morning
gosh, don't
podcast, by the
ask me
way.
how I start. Oh my gosh, the beginning of my days are rough. Um, but I think I always try to like write in the mornings.
Oh,
So
right in the
either
morning.
like I'll try to wake up and immediately pray, or I'll wake up and just like grab my journal. I have like these, I fill these up
Moleskin
pretty quickly.
journals.
They're yeah, this is
Beautiful.
like the German brand one. That's my favorite.
Wait,
Um,
what's it called for our
and
listeners?
okay, I don't know German, but it's called uh Lutrum 1917.
Can I see it? I wanna.
Yes.
Okay, L E
Link
U
it down
C
below.
H T T U R M 1917. Okay, amazing. Yeah, we will because a good journal is so important.
It's hard to come by, yeah. So just I try to write and I as I write, there's always like something that comes.
Mm.
And then acting on that is super important. And that's also like the like pattern for revelation as well. So I'll just kind of write and be like, okay, like what's an idea that's come and then acting on that. So
Mm.
whether that's like, oh, I should have a dance party. And even if you don't like end your day with the dance party, if you write in your journal at night and you're reflecting on your day, that is a like moment that you can be grateful for that and just kind of also revel in that joy that it brought you.
I love that. The remembrance or reflecting
Mm,
on things. Like, I
yes.
think it was this like happiness challenge I did once, but it was like at the end of the day, like, go write down in full detail, like, one of the happiest moments of your day. And by doing
Yeah.
that, you like relive it in your brain or your subconscious. And then
Yes.
it's like more engraved in your life and like
Uh-huh.
makes you happier. I don't know. It's the coolest
Yeah.
thing. And I love starting your day off like that too, like with that
Mhm.
inspiration or meditation, reflection. I love
Yeah,
writing
and
and I love
I
this
would
inspiration to write more.
I would even take that a step further as well with like early in the morning, late at night, and honestly, no pressure at all to write anything. Just write it down, be like, oh, this made me happy. And then later, you can create something that fully encompasses that emotion, whether that's like a poem or you paint a picture or you write a like letter to somebody. I'm really into writing letters.
I'll write
So
you
if
a
you
letter,
want a
Leah.
pen
I
pal,
love letters.
yeah. So I like will put on my like stories. Okay, who wants a
Oh my
letter
gosh,
and I'll, like,
yes.
send letters. I love it
Oh
so
my gosh,
much.
wait, we need a
Um
letter club, like letters to Juliet, but like our own version.
oh my gosh.
Oh, I love letters.
Um,
My friend and I would get like
yeah.
fancy paper in high school. It was like the like a linen paper that you could see like the watermark when you like held
Ooh,
it up to the light. And we would get
ooh.
like fancy pens and try to write in cursive and then like slip into each other in the
Oh
halls
my
at school.
gosh.
And then I have literally tied in like burlap string like a stack of our letters from high school, and it is amazing. It's my favorite thing in the whole wide world.
That's
But
amazing.
I want to bring that
Maybe that's
back.
something you need to tap back
Yes.
into.
Oh my gosh, Leah, you are full of inspiration. I hope anyone listening today has found one or two things that they're like, I should try that. Ooh, I should try that. Like this is so
If
cool.
you feel like you should try something, do it. Just do it. Don't worry about like anything because also there's so many different like things that we tell ourselves that will stop us from doing these things, right? Like if we say, "Oh, I want to start writing letters." "Oh, but I want like the fancy linen paper and I want the like burlap string and I want like
A
a
pen.
little handheld stamp."
Oh, a
It's like
stamp.
no, just start
Sorry.
and you will be amazed how things just like fall into your life. Like if you're open to it, things will come. Someone will give you linen paper. Like you'll learn how to make your own
Manifest
paper.
it. Make your
I
own
started writing.
paper. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Okay, you started writing
it's
what?
really fun. I started writing letters, and then it was like Christmas, and my mom just was like giving away like a wax seal. So there will be like random things that just come, and it's kind of like, oh my gosh, like that's an answer to like my query and question. So
That is so
it's really cool.
cool.
Just start, just go for it, and
So,
you'll surprise yourself, and it'll just get better and better.
what would you say to the more like athletic weightlifting type? What's the creativity there for them? You said just do it, and
Oh,
my
I
mind
feel
went to
like
Nike. So I want to put this connection together.
I feel like there's so much creativity in that as well. I think if if we truly believe that there's like we are creations, what could be more creative than our physical body? I don't think I can think of anything else. And so as we move our body, as we use our muscles and develop them, that is using we are quite literally like using the creation that we've been given and it's just like sign of respect for our body as well. um
Like taking
I
care of our
think
bodies. Yeah.
uh-huh, yeah, and we all have like desires to move as well, like we are made to be in movement. So as we move it brings us with joy and just to do what you want to do as well. Like if you're at the gym and you're feeling comparison or fear or doubt or anxiety, that's not the way that we're meant to be, and just to do what you wanna do. I feel like that would be, creative as well. Like, if you want to, like my sister's really wanting to try, like, kinesthetics, I think that's what it's called. If you wanna be that guy that's at the gym, like, looking kinda weird punching the punching bag and doing, like, weird martial arts or whatever, I think that's a call to your spiritual, like, creative urge, and you should just do that. If you have been wanting to try, like I think just yeah, honing in, listening to
What you're
what
being
you're
drawn
being
to.
called to,
Yeah.
uh-huh, and do it, and that is in every single aspect of life.
For me, I feel like I'm drawn to just about everything. So I'm like, okay, I guess like time in a season, I haven't tapped into the
Mhm.
sourdough bread chapter of my
Yeah.
life, but I'm like, it'll come. Like right now, I'll
Oh,
focus on other things.
it'll
But like,
come. Oh my
and
gosh.
now I'm like, I want to do taekwondo. I want to try karate or like, I don't know. I'm like, so Leah,
That's
when you sign
awesome.
up for a karate class, let me know. I want to come.
Okay.
But like, there
I
was,
did karate.
oh, you already tried it? Dang it.
I
Okay, I'll find some other
no,
people who want to
sorry.
try it too.
No, no, no. I did karate when I was like oh gosh, was it 1st grade? And I just wanted to do it for the outfit.
Oh, yeah.
And then I realized, "Oh my gosh, I have to actually do stuff." And it made me, like, super, like, scared and insecure, and so I stopped.
Eh,
But you know what? Maybe I'll get back into
oh,
it
yeah.
and I'll love it.
Time and a season, huh?
Um, exactly, and I think just having that, like, desire to do so many things is wonderful. It just shows that there's so much abundance in our lives, and we could do anything. We really can if there is a time in the season, but knowing that that's a possibility for you and like, "Oh, yeah, I'll someday I'll learn how to do that." I think that just shows that there's endless amounts of energy and time for us, and it's beautiful because so many people as they get older, they're like, "Ah, I can't do that. Like, if I didn't do it when I was younger, I'll never be able to do it." Like,
Mm.
if I can't be in the Olympics, I never wanna try shot put or whatever. That is such a limiting belief, and it's the self-will, it's the act, it's our self to refuse any new opportunity to be creative.
So let's say there is something that like scares me. Like I was thinking about, it was some passion or hobby, I can't remember now. But like if I have like a fear of doing that thing, how do I
Uh-huh.
overcome that fear?
I think it would I think it depends on, like, what it is, um, but, like, let's say it's singing,
Mm.
maybe. Um, and maybe there's, like, a certain aspect of fear of, like, singing in front of other people, and maybe that fear is the only thing keeping you from singing, right? Like, "Oh, but if I learn to sing, then I'll have to sing in church, and I don't wanna sing in church, and if I wanna sing, I wanna be like Britney Spears, and I'm never gonna be like her," you know? I was just seeing this thing about Britney Spears, so that's why I thought of it. But I think really tapping in and being creative and being being willing to discover, "Okay, what is this fear? Where does it come from? Why am I feeling that way?" And there is a world where my fear and this can coexist at the same time. Like you can love to sing and you can not like to sing in public, and that's okay. And you can sing as much as you want. You can write your own music. You can learn how to play guitar. You can learn how to play piano. You can learn how to produce music. And you can never share it with anybody. And that's okay. And maybe you've done this for 5 years now, and there is an urge, there's an inkling inside of you that's like, "Maybe I should share this." And maybe that's the time when you should share it. It's all a journey and it's all in its own time, and starting something like, there's this thing that I was reading that it was saying, um, like, "Jump and there will be a net."
I
Just
like
having
that.
that mindset of being like, I'm just gonna have faith. I'm just gonna do this thing and know that it's a divine inspiration from the creator and know that it's gonna be okay and there's gonna be help along the way. So whatever your fear is, like, don't worry.
Mm. And then like the biggest creation, like children, right? Like men and
Mhm.
women having a child. And it was funny, my coworker made a
Yeah.
comment yesterday about one of my coworkers, her dad is the president, and she was just talking about her fitness and health journey, and it was inspired from her dad,
Yeah.
like watching him accomplish
Uh-huh.
races or make healthy food,
Yeah.
and just like it's changed her life. Now she's into all of that. And my other coworker was
Uh-huh.
like, I don't eat seed oils. And then the other day I heard my son saying, "Oh no, I don't eat that seed oil." And she's like, "I made that." Like, like it was just so cute, just how like the influence we have over our creations, whether that's like figuring out where our God given talents are, and then like in a bigger picture of like creating
Mhm.
children and then
Mhm.
teaching them, helping them feel what we've been talking about during this whole episode and
Mhm.
overcoming fear. And it's just so cool that this is divinely in all of us, no matter what your profession
Yes.
is, what your hobbies are.
Uh-huh.
Like there's creativity in it all. It's so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it so much. And there's I feel like with children, yeah, it really is like the gift that just keeps on giving. And I think with anything we do, if we have the right mindset, that thing could be the same thing. Especially if we're especially if we're intentional about everything that comes to our life and we don't just mindlessly live life, but we know that okay, each thing that's given to us is divinely given to us and we have like stewardship over that essentially. But
Yeah, stewardship is huge.
just
Yeah.
uh-huh. But just like along those lines of, I don't know, children and just each thing that we do can be creative. Yesterday I was talking to the kids I nanny and I was telling them about this podcast. They're like my built-in best friends.
I love
I
that.
was talking to them about this podcast and they're like, "Oh yeah, of course you would talk about that." I'm like, they're like, "You're so creative." And
Amazing.
I was asking the 10-year-old, I was like, "Okay, well, like, what is creativity to you? Like, if you're saying that I'm creative, like, what does that actually mean to you?" And I wrote down what she said because it was so sweet and cute. She said, "Creativity is being able to find stuff in the everyday things." And I think that applies whether any job that you're in. If you can be creative and find uplifting beauty, joy, happiness in just everyday things, I think that is being creative and knowing that you're feeling joy through that.
Wow. Children are profound. It's fun to like just spend time with
Mhm.
children too, to remind you like
Uh-huh.
what what I mean, like bliss. Like you're like innocence is bliss, but you're also just
Mhm.
like tapping back into those roots. I saw a cute quote. I'm into like I have a relationships board on Pinterest and I saw a quote and it was like
Same.
don't find someone that you want to grow old with. Find someone who you can
Yeah.
be a kid with. And I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
so true. Like, and I just imagined like growing old, but still doing like playful things, dancing in the kitchen, or
Mhm.
yeah, I love it.
Yeah. Have you seen that, meme, reel, whatever, going around of those 2 older people, like, playing in the water
Oh
together?
no, but you should send it to
Oh
me and
my
I'll
gosh.
link it because that
It's
sounds so
it's so
tender. I'm
cute.
literally like
Just kind
tearing
of
up right now. I'm like,
just, like, being young and just having that spirit of, like, youthfulness. Because honestly, we have so much life to live, and we wanna make it the best that we can, and I think that's so true, like and I think as you tap more into this, there are gonna be things that are drawn to you just because you're pursuing this, and other people are as well. And it's so fulfilling. It's so
help
amazing.
meet people, build those connections,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
make your life. Oh, I love that. Okay, we'll wrap up. So be thinking about your uplifting takeaway, maybe for yourself or the thing others should know most about it, but your uplifting takeaway, and then I'll share mine and we'll wrap it up.
Oh, uplifting takeaway. I think for me, this has just inspired me and motivated me to just really, like, connect with more people and talk about this. I feel like this is something that I'm very, very passionate about, and I do day in and day out, and anytime someone catches me talking about this, I will talk about it for forever. But I think this has just kind of inspired me to get outside of my comfort zone. I'm more of a writer, so honestly, talking is not really like it's not something that I like am like jumping at, like, "Oh yeah, I'll talk about this." But over like a pulpit or, like a
Yeah.
podcast, I don't know. If you asked me to do this like a year ago, I would say no.
I'm so grateful you did. Okay.
So it's just kind of it's just kind of inspired me to just say yes to more things and to push myself outside of my comfort zone and to just continue to talk about this and talk about the things that I'm passionate for. So thank you so much.
Well, you've totally inspired me, and I hope everyone listening, I mean, I'm sure they've felt your light and your energy toward this. I mean, that's the beauty of passion and kind of why I have this podcast because it inspires other people to feel that passion within themselves. I think my biggest takeaway is is the writing in the morning and just like doing the
Mhm.
first thing that comes to my mind and realizing that
Mhm.
I don't need to stick with something for like 6 weeks. Like if I want to learn the guitar, I don't need to play the guitar every day unless I mean I'm like trying to perform or whatever. But like
Mhm.
if I want to learn like one simple song of the guitar, I can just do that one day and fulfill
Mhm.
that little bit of joy from that. And if I don't do it the next day, that's okay. And I can have the next
Mhm.
inspiration and realizing that like I think this is, I've been questioning, like, why is eternity something we want? You know, like, why would someone
Mhm.
want to live forever? I'm like, why does Voldemort want to live forever? You know, like, that's like such an appealing thing for so many people. And I'm like, okay, why though? You know, and I think creativity is the answer. Like, I think me knowing that maybe I won't hit a certain chapter or learn Japanese in this life, but I have eternity to learn and literally do everything. So I don't know.
Mhm.
It's kind of fun to know what I can do things now. But something I learned on my mission was in the spirit world, like you can travel in a blink of an eye. And so if there are places
Mhm.
you don't make it to on Earth, you can do that in the spirit world. I mean, guaranteed you
Mhm.
won't be able to taste all the food, so you got to pick and choose where you go. But I'm just kidding. But I don't know. It's just fun that opportunities really are endless when you tap into
Mhm.
these passions. Oh, well,
It's so empowering. Yeah.
yeah, Leah, you are empowering too. I hope you know that. Like, this has been amazing.
You're so nice. I've loved talking with you.
And
Thank you
all
so
those
much.
quotes, we'll post all those quotes you shared. So I'm going to have you send them to me because they were fabulous and just
I have so
fun.
many quotes.
Oh,
I'm such a
good.
quote girl.
Good.
So,
Do you have any favorite quote you want to end the episode with?
ooh, um, there's okay. Can I share two?
Yes.
Okay, they're quick. So there's one from Pablo Picasso where he says, "Every child is an artist. The problem is staying an artist when you grow up." And then there's one from Maya Angelou who says, "Everybody born comes from the Creator, trailing wisps of glory."
Say that one more time. I want to really listen to that one.
Everybody born from the Creator, everybody born comes from the Creator, trailing wisps of glory.
What does that mean to you?
I think that just means that I'm not here by coincidence, that someone like God created me very intentionally, and there are pieces within me that are glorious, and I want to take my whole life to figure out what that is and how I can kind of develop and grow and cultivate that. And it's just beautiful as well. And it just reminds me that like there is so much like goodness in the world, and it doesn't just come from like having like a religious background. Like there's so much good and godliness in everything.
Oh, amen, amen. This was beautiful and so inspiring. Leah, I can't thank you enough for coming on today. And I hope everyone got their own uplifting takeaway and do something about it. Go out and do something.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you so much.
everyone will talk to you next week and we'll yeah, have a great day and go live. I don't know how to even express like all the things we just talked about, but go be
Just take
creative.
one step.
One
Just take
step.
one step forward. Yeah.
One step forward and be creative. Okay, see you later, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
What are you doing creatively today, Leah?
So actually I'm going on a little artist date with my sister. She's like a full-blown artist. She's incredible. She's wanting to do graphic design. So we're
Wow.
going to my favorite little art shop in Orem. They are amazing. It's called the Artist Corner. They'll give you a discount. They're so nice, so knowledgeable. I need to get like some more watercolor paper because I ran out. So gonna go do that
Fun.
and maybe go to a park and read. I'm listening to Anna Karenina right now, so
Oh,
it's a big one, but
Tolstoy.
I love it so
I
much.
need to read it. Honestly, for one, I know Russian and I've been to
Oh
Tolstoy's
my
house.
gosh! Are you kidding me?
And for two, I love Russian literature's insane, but like so good.
Russian literature is my absolute favorite,
Crime
like,
and Punishment.
favorite. Crime and Punishment?
It blew me away.
So good.
It was our
I
summer
know.
reading, but I loved it. And like writing all the assignments about it,
I
I'm like, it was just cool.
this I it's so good.
And now I can say
I
their
was
names.
so I know, so cool. I was so, like, um I was so shocked when I was reading Crime and Punishment because it just felt so real and, like,
Mhm.
raw and
Mhm.
authentic, and I did
Yeah.
not see that coming from a book that's, was written so many years
Well,
ago.
and
Because 'cause I've read
you're like
so
in the
much, like
mind of someone like
yes.
so creatively. Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say that he's a very blocked artist, but that's just mine and maybe Tolstoy's opinion.
What does that
Or no,
mean?
that's, oh, just being like a blocked artist. And I would
Like
because he is
Dostoevsky?
very yeah, yeah, the main character,
Oh,
he has,
Raskolnikov.
like yes. I would say that he has all of these, like, dreams and creative, like,
Mhm.
desires in his life that he cannot physically do. Like, there's something, like, blocking him, whether that's, like, mental illness or, like, alcoholism, different things. So it's just he's a very creative mind,
Mhm.
and creative person, but
Yeah.
it just goes a different way than you
Yeah. No,
than
if you haven't
anybody
read
would
Crime
want.
and Punishment, it's so enticing. I
Yes.
have one last thought. This is our little bonus content.
Okay.
When we were talking about like athleticism and creativity, I was
Uh-huh.
thinking about Michelangelo's The David and just how like
Oh, yeah.
bodybuilders literally sculpt muscles out of
Mhm.
themselves. And I'm like, how cool is that that they make like
Yes.
their own beauty and like so many sculptures like the women's bodies aren't
Mhm.
like your typical like skinny fit person like they have all the curves and like I don't know, I just think it's so beautiful that
Well,
that's what true art is, you know, and like how we can
and
put our bodies
mhm.
in a healthy way like that. Okay, sorry, keep going.
And somebody saw that, Michelangelo, right? He saw that body and was so inspired and so, like, in awe of the beauty of that creation that he spent endless hours making that piece of art.
Hmm.
So it's almost like it's just this cycle of seeing art, being edified, and acknowledging the beauty and wanting to do something about it. Because
Yeah.
we all see it, right? We
Mhm.
all see the beauty in life and we don't do anything about it. And as artists, it's just taking in something and wanting to create and acknowledge that and want it to be like inside of us and doing something about
Yes, go out and do something. Thanks again, Leah. See ya.
it. Okay, bye.